Hey, and welcome back to another late episode of Because You Watched. I'm your critic Pobles, and today for our first review I will be reviewing Grave Encounters. This review request came from the following 4 viewers who have each been assigned a emotion. I have to say, when I was first asked to do this film, I was almost reluctant to see it in the cinemas. The hype was that Paranormal Activity, which is quite similar and came out at the same time, in comparison looked like the Teletubbies. I'm not good with supernatural horror. I can handle gore and any other kind of frightening stuff. It's just when it comes to ghosts and the supernatural, that's when it starts creeping me out. The film follows a television crew who are trying to emulate your very typical cable TV supernatural horror show where they investigate supernatural happenings and lock themselves into haunted places, that kind of thing. My first impression was that it was quite good. The acting was quite naive and realistic. There was a great establishment of possibilities within the narrative, so you have like people speaking to each other, and you really get a feel for the relationships that people have within the group. The lead filmmaker, who seems to be the host of the show, is very excited at the start, and his general diminish from a TV personality into a real human person really does add to the film. Although this film falls into the genre of horror, there is a point at the start that's very satirical where they interview a gardener and is just kind of like,
I saw a ghost. It was very scary.
that kind of detracted from the film. I really didn't find that throwing that joke in there really made much sense. And even if it wasn't a joke, it was still pretty funny. So as the film went on, I actually realized that the budget must have been typical of that of a B movie. A lot of the special effects could be achieved using an application on an iPhone. The scares within this movie are kind of predictable. Some of them are very subtle, others are very hardcore. But overall, I just wasn't that impressed by this film. Sean Rogerson, who plays the protagonist, had a very good character, but his acting itself wasn't that brilliant. However, one thing that I thought really added to the eventual descent into madness of this film was the makeup of the actors, and also some of the props were quite convincing as well. However, the camera equipment itself used in this film probably cost more than the entire special effects budget. It was a very easily done project that I think someone in college could emulate. Another thing that kind of got to me was the constant re-reporting of what happened. If you throw that in there into a film every now and then to, add for the different cameras that they're using, no one knows what other people have filmed. But when you're doing it every 10 minutes, it's obvious that you're just doing it for the dumbasses in the audience who are like, how did he die? Are there ghosts or something? Isn't she a man? And on to our next review. Welcome to the next review. Superhero movie. This came as a request from this guy. Most people would know this film. It comes from a very long family of scary movies and date movie and all that crap. There's actually very little that I liked about this film. It did grow on me, but this is probably one of the worst films I've ever seen. So let me tell you why it was bad. This film had excessively long opening sequences. It was very boring. The dialogue was lame, and the actors were not very good. I had to tally how many times I laughed, smiled, and thought something was funny. I admit that this film was funny at 11 points. I also admit that it made me smile 7 times. I laughed twice during this film. The props were crap. The realism was crap. The auntie and her acting was crap. The CGI was crap. The music was crap. Stephen Hawking in this film was crap. The film was rushed and was like watching mentally ill people perform theatre. I know. Why don't we put Stephen Hawking in a movie and he cannot actually be that smart? Because I hear that he's really smart and stuff. After watching it, I felt almost like it had been one of those incoherent yet interesting nightmares that you kind of just wake up, go into the shower, and you're like, did someone put a banana inside me? The only good thing about this film is the Tom Cruise impersonation. Look it up on YouTube, I'll put a link in the description. It was kind of funny. Thank you for watching, and I will see you later.